So, hi. In this video today, we will talk what is this bearish force by doing? What will BYND do in the next days, weeks? I didn't forget microvision this time. Is FFAI standing in front of a squeeze? Was I wrong on high-craft mining? Does BLNK still have a chance? We will look also at GNS, Neo, and Plug, and just a tiny little update on AMC and HYMC. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, before we start, I'm using this method here for all my tracking. If you're interested, I will put in the explanation video at the end of the video as a link, or you just search for the playlist Fractal method. And sorry for the late video, but I really didn't slept more than 1 hour in the last 84 hours. So I needed a little bit recovery time this time. And I'm a little bit, how do you say that? Ill or something like that. My voice is a little bit damaged. Okay. Well, let's start with SPY. You know, the SPY, everyone was talking over the weekend. It's over. War, very nice. It is so bearish. Well, yeah. Okay, just a small update today. As I said yesterday, this here was our B pullback, and I expected that we go up. I also had the bearish alternative that we do the 0.5, just because of the future move, the futures move, but well, it wasn't. What was that then? Okay, just for the micro tracking, if this here on Friday, last Friday, was our V, this was our higher low, this was our tiny micro A, and yes, on Monday, this was our micro B. And if you look from the bottom of A to the peak of B, it was a perfect 0.5. Yeah. So perfect. For the little bigger tracking, so for the middle tracking, this whole thing was just A. Yeah. What we did yesterday, you could say, was our micro C, but for overall, this was just our middle B. Yeah. So we are still looking for our middle C and for our even bigger macro B. So whatever the next move then is, this would be the for the micro tracking, this is finished. So you would have your micro A, micro B, micro C here. For the middle tracking, for this and this would be the middle C. And for the macro tracking, this would just be B. Or this would be already your big C, and after that, the market is crashing. But let's see. So what are we looking for? Thing is, today is Wednesday. Normally you could say if you have a Green Monday, a Green Tuesday, you have a chance that the Wednesday is your we go further or your turning point. If we get green today, I really think we will get green Thursday and Friday too. If you're curling to the downside today, it's very likely you have a red Thursday, a red Friday too. I'm saying it already. I'm tending to a green week, as I said last week. Green Thursday, green Wednesday, green Friday. So I would compare this year. I would compare to October. In that case, something in here. We might get even a gap up, maybe. So I would look for upside. The alternative I have, because this is a micro C and I need a name for the middle tracking. Middle B. It could happen that you get a pullback. Yeah. In that case, it would be a 0.5 from our A bottom to our B. So something around 689. But then you still have to go up the rest of the week. Let's see. What are the futures looking today? Yeah. You see, I think you already, in pre-market, you might get already the pullback. In that case, I mean, it would be fantastic if you do this in pre-market. Open here, because then we have a gap. And then we just gap fill on open. Yeah. Let's see. A real bearish alternative. Well, for a real bearish alternative, because we broke yesterday again, new all-time highs. And if you look back, every time we got a little break of the all-time highs, we went into a wedge again. If you say that this whole thing now is middle A, you could say we get the 0.5 now, the big one. Yeah. So you would come back to 685. But in my opinion, you won't do that in one day. Yeah. If this would be the alternative if we see really massive red today. Yeah. In that case, you will turn today, you will fall till 686 till Friday. And you will do your next bull run next week. Not seeing that now. Let's wait. Very open. Okay. So much for SPY. Now we will start with microvision, so I don't forget it. For microvision, we first look on the weekly, just for the macro thing. So, in my opinion, since IPO, so 1969, till March 2020, this was your old fractal. Yeah, I wouldn't even say that this was your big C. This could easily be your big macro T, but this was your old tracking. From March 2020 till today, this easily could be just your high low. Then you still have to do your A, your B, your macro A and B. For the zoomed in tracking, yeah. So this was all our C. Here was our last T. Here was our invisible A in 2020. So if this is really just high or low, you all know, who are already watching me longer, a higher low is ending in a VNA. In that case, we already did that. Yeah. But the thing is, in my opinion, we're still not finished, because you have here your V, here is your higher low, this is your A, here is your A bottom, this is your B, this is your C. Most likely, this is your lower high. June 2023 was your midpoint, and I'm kind of really leaning to that the last peak in February 2025 was just our T. It's a very, very slow moving ticker. So is this T already finished? Well, when we look, the T started here. So we still have at least come lower than 97 cents. And I think it's very likely that we will retest this trend line, 55 cents. Then this higher low is finished. Then we still have to do a little micro higher low, and then we can go to our A. Yeah? So I think this will take some time still. Yeah. Alternatively, your M finished here. So the only way to show that in any way bullish would mean this was your T. Yeah. This is already our V. And let's look. This is our micro higher low already. So this whole thing. You would already finished it with December 5, 2025. This was your BYND. In that case, you're not allowed to touch or break 80 cents. Yeah? For confirmation levels. So in that case, you have to hold this level, not even touching it. You have to be over it. And everything over $2.22 is bullish. In that case, yeah, this higher low is finished and you would already go to A. Same problem as always. You have this big M and then this small T. Isn't really working for me. Okay, next one. Beyond. This time also just only a little update because we are doing the week. Still two versions. Bullish version since October. We did the higher low. We finished the higher low on Friday, November 21st. And we added a little higher low, a micro higher low. We ended this micro higher low on December 31st with a V and A. And now we go up. Yeah. We have to break this trend line. And in the most bullish case, we have to go over 126. Then we get our A move. And the A move would go somewhere around $28 to $15. The alternative is still this whole thing is your higher low, and this part here is just T. Yeah. In that case, you still have to come lower than 80 cents, and in that case, you will gap fill the gap between 88 and 66 cents. Yeah. In that case, we would form somewhere in here our T just for this section here. So you still would have the possibility that you come even up here, reject, and then your knife. Yeah. Or this was already our T, and we will go down now. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see how we end the week. But levels wise, everything, as I said, over 125. Bullish, everything under 80 cents. And we will gap fill. No way around it. Okay. Next one, FFAI. I'm getting very bullish on FFAI right now. So for FFAI, well, what do we have here? Also, only a small update video, but all in all, this whole thing could be finished now. All in all, the last thing we did, our absolute low for the bullish tracking was April 2025. Since then, we did a higher low. We ended this higher low in November this year, and we added a micro higher low. And for this micro higher low, well, let's look. Here, we ended in a bullish way the micro higher low on December 31st. Here with a V and a A. And since then we are running. Yeah, since then we're running. If this comes to, again, I'm saying that for everything, for DGT, for BYND, for AMC, for GME, for every ticker. You're doing a big macro higher low. Sometimes you're, or most of the time, you're adding a micro higher low. And in the moment you finish this, you go up. Do we even have news on this? Something bullish? Not really big. So for levels, I said my time frame is January 9th to February 19th. So for the absolute bullish way, January 12th could be already the peak, or at least the start of the run. For levels, everything over 131, and we are going. The only alternative I have is that we would add a micro higher low again. In that case, we would come up here, down here again, but this micro higher low would end at $1.60. You are not allowed to break $1 again. Yeah? And then somewhere in this range, you get the move. What move I'm expecting? Well, something in this range. That's stupid that it is. Yeah? And I'm not expecting something normal like A, B, C. I am expecting this. I am expecting this. I am expecting this, or this. Yeah, FFI isn't. When it's finished, it's higher low. It's not moving slow. Yeah? No financial advice. Right now, it looks fantastic. Okay. Well, then to something which isn't looking fantastic. High-craft mining. Here. Also a little update only today, but yesterday we did a new high. Yeah. So this time I have to say I was wrong here. Yeah. There is no, because it was just volatility, or because Trump and Venezuela manipulation. No, I'm not doing that on that channel. There is no, because this shouldn't have happened. No. My prediction that on December 21st, 23 was the peak, was just wrong. Simple as that. Yeah. In that case, well, right now we are looking for a new peak. That's all. Which still would be our A peak. Only way now I would see this would be that this was our last peak. We right now did this, and we are still looking for this. Yeah. The only even longer way would be that this here was our December 23. we did this and now doing this. Yeah. So what would be the plan now? The only plan I would have now, we waiting to play this out. If this was already the top, fine. If not, we would go higher. How high would we go? I wouldn't think we go over 33 maximum. Yeah. And then same like, should you already buy AMC or GME, just wait for the higher low in these points. For such a case, you're waiting for the lower peak. Yeah. So let's two ways. This was already our peak. Then we wait for a lower peak, and that's your buy-in, if you want to play puts. Otherwise, we will go up. Here again, we wait for the lower peak, and then. Right now, if this was the peak, nothing really is changing because our pullback target would still be $7. If we go, let's say, what was the level? Let's say, if we go to 40, right, then we have to adjust. If our peak is 40, right, then our pullback target is 8. Okay? But all in all, I will not delete Highcraft mining now. I will show that if something is changing every video. And it's the perfect example. The method is working. But sometimes the interpretation is wrong. Pretty easy to that. But that is how you learn things. Yeah. And me personally, I don't like when I watch predictors who are never wrong. Or who never talk about it ever again. Okay. Next one. GNS. Just a little update. We had two versions for this. The first version was this whole thing is high or low, and we still have to come down to 30 cents. I said for this, we should reject here. We broke it, but we are again under the trend line. I want to come over this fucking trend line. I want to break 70 cents. If we break 70 cents, okay, then the alternative that we will go down to 30 cents till February 11 is not there anymore. Yeah. And our next levels would be let's look, B7, and then something in this range would be C. This would happen if this would be if this whole thing is A. Yeah, you have to come over 71 cents, and you go. For all of you who already watched it, my last videos, I'm kind of 50-50 right now. Yeah. It just for the explanation. Normally, my GNS is doing a V, high, low, and then it runs. V, high, low, and then it runs. We normally don't see an A. Yeah. But that's my only reason why I'm still kind of 50-50. Because we have everything. We have our V. We have a decent sized higher low. We are over the trend line. So normally, this is if I'm not looking at the past, this is a perfect day. And this is a perfect 0.5. If you look at this, that's a perfect 0.5 pullback, bounce, adding a little higher low, which ended in a V&A. So we should be ready. Yeah? But I really want to see the move up. we have to break this level. Yeah. Otherwise, this is just a big, massive higher low. And we still have to come down here. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, little look at NIO. Here, everything is tracking absolutely as it should. So we have our V, high low, our A, and I'm really expecting still a drop to 437, just for a V and A. This Friday maybe already, yeah. NIO is completely going inverse the market right now, so this would be another 9%. Today is Wednesday, easily possible, easily possible. So in the best case, you're doing this tail end of December, so exact January 22, you're doing your higher low, and then you go. Do I have an alternative? The only way you could make this in any kind bull, is there even a way? The only way to make this bullish would be that you slam this T in here. This would be your V. This is already your macro higher low. Is it even working? Did we come lower? Not yet. Okay. This would be a micro higher low, and you have to start now. No other way. You're not allowed to break $44.73, which I think we will do today. Yeah. But that's the only way, and I'm not thinking that. Next levels for NIO, whenever this is finished, is 16 for B. And then this is just B. So we are still in our C run. So something over $66. Yeah. Okay. Little update on plug. Which also is quite interesting. It has a similar problem like GNS, but worse. Because if you remember, GNS is over the trend line and has a higher low. Plug is under the trend line, and in the best case, we have this tiny low here. Yeah, this tiny low for this whole thing. So, but it looks bullish. Thing is, okay, let's start with the bear case. Bear case still means this is our higher low, but in that case, this higher low isn't finished. And you still have to come down to $1.03 for your V&A. And then you go. In that case, we already made a higher high here. This would be the only way to drop this, to show this like this. Yeah, only way. For the bullish case, this is A. And this little higher low here is enough. Okay, in that case, you finished A with a 0.5. You bounced. You already did your micro higher low. You finished it. Yeah. You finished it with a V&A. You broke out. This would be your micro A. You already did the breakout retest. Next move is upside. Yeah. Everything levels wise, everything over $3 is fucking bullish. And the alternative is that. Everything under $1.91 is bearish. And you will go down here. For the overlook, Well, we really have to zoom out for this. For the absolute macro look, this whole thing since March 2013 is just higher low. You would be already in your A, and your A has to go over 70, so it's $72. It has to. So your next level would be 33. Yeah. Then breakout retest and up. In that case, this thing is looking fucking bullish. Let's see. Okay. Next one, BLNK. Because we had a 12% run yesterday. I'm still not sold on this. Thing is, we have two versions. We have the bearish version, we have the bullish version. In both cases, this here is T. For the bearish version, the T is not finished. Even we came lower, but the T normally is going way lower. Yeah, but technically, this T is with this move here finished. But again, for the bearish version, this is not finished. This is just a little bounce, and you still have to come down to 40, 30 cents. Then you're doing a high low, and then you go. Yeah. For the bullish version, yeah, technically, this is our V. We finished it. Even with 2 cents, we came lower. We finished it. We still need a higher low right now. Yeah. So for the most bullish case, I would say we're doing now a higher low, and then we go. Yeah. For comparison, how would that look like? In the most bullish way, we would be, in my opinion, March 2020. We would do this right now. Yeah. And if you're repeating it, this is our next move. Yeah. It would look like this here. Not time-wise, yeah. Also, I don't think it will take that long, yeah. But the move would be this, yeah. After the higher low is finished, our next target is 26. And then the only question is, are we breaking the last peak or at 65, or are we rejecting it, making a lower peak again? This would be very bearish, but I mean, who is interested in that then? Still not sold. On this, I'm really not sold yet. Okay. Little jump into AMC. Just for a little update. Let's look on the 30-minute. So it looks pretty good that Friday, January 2nd, could be our bottom. Yeah. We already did a micro high low. Yes, did we? Broke. No. We are still holding it. But I have to say, okay, for the bullish version, January 2nd was the V. We formed a micro high low. For the big tracking, we will start our macro high low now. Yeah, I'm not thinking we're going over $2. And in the moment we are finished with the V under A, we are going. Yeah. For the big story, just watch the last meme video. For the bear case, Just saying. For the bear case, how is that looking like? For the bear case, this would be already a C. A lower peak. M. T. We would go even lower. Yeah. So I'm not sold yet. But, and that's the important thing, I already saw some predictors who were selling that the January 16 contracts are 100% safe since 6 months. That's the reason. It makes no sense to buy here in July, January's. It also makes no sense, just my opinion and no financial advice, to buy January contracts now or buy June contracts now. It makes no sense. Wait for the confirmation that the V&A is finished. Then it doesn't help you if you buy 6 months out contracts. If you don't know with confirmation that the bottom is in, then it makes no sense. Why? The only reason to buy long-dated calls or puts is when, let's say, we did the V&A here, then you can buy 6 months out contracts. Why? The only reason for this is because you don't really know how long the next move would take. Then you buy 6 months out contracts. But you already have the confirmation, we most likely not going lower. To say here in this place, just by January 16 contracts, they will be okay, makes no sense because you know you will go down. These contracts will fall. People bought here, I think, 50 cents for them. Now they're worth 1 cent. Yeah. And the next thing is now they're praising, yeah, I'm sorry, not looking so good for January 16 contracts, but by January 28th or whatever. No. Wait for the V&A to be confirmed. No, not for the V&A to be confirmed. Wait to go to this point. Yeah. Because I agree. If you already did this here and we are, let's say, 10 cents over the V&A, then it can get dangerous because you could do the V&A in after hours. And next day you're already ripping. Yeah. But you have to come at least to this point. At least. Yeah. Buying now, only me, doesn't make sense. Same for Jimmy. Because I already saw the posts that GameStop posted a video, which is 1 minute, 9 seconds long. And this U copy guy is saying, we're getting something back today or tomorrow. In the most bullish way for Jimmy. This is a higher low, which is finished. But because Jimmy is synced with AMC, your next move is up here, something in this range for your A. Breakout retest, back down again. Here AMC is finished with its high low, and then you go. Yeah. In the best case. In the worst case, and I'm still thinking that we might get the news. Would be perfect. I'm still waiting for one. Because for me, this is still our little tiny T. I still need a catalyst to drop down here. And I still think we see this till end of this week or next week. Yeah. But okay. I'm already, that's the last thing. I'm already working at a video because the main theory is when Bitcoin is breaking next all-time highs, when SPY is breaking next all-time highs, especially in the last 2 weeks, silver is going to squeeze memes. Doge is going to squeeze memes. I'm trying to make a video now to just show the backtesting. The backtesting, the sync for memes with SPY, crypto, and silver. And what I'm already found out right now, I will show that. There are only 2 ways. They are too stupid to understand it, or they are lying. Yeah? I will put out this video sometime this week. And then I will do in the same video that again a big update on AMC and GME, just to show everything again, because this video is just a little update. Okay, so as always, if you liked it, give a like. The explanation video for the Fractal will be put here, playlist here, and if you want to see more, abo button is here. Let's see if the market is exploding today.